JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Hi guys. Before we go into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Ex-cop gunned down in St. Anne. A former policeman was killed and his license farm stolen by his attackers in Runaway Bay, St. Anne on Friday. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Kenneth Dawkins of Bamboo in the parish. The incident occurred about 9:58 p.m. At Royal Sports Bar on Main Street in Salem, where the former constable was providing security services. It's reported that the bartender was closing the business when two armed men wearing masks entered. They shot Dawkins, hitting him in the upper body. A motive for the killing has not yet been established. 54-year-old salesman robbed and shot dead in Spanish Town. Investigators from the St. Catherine North Police Division have launched a search for a gunman who allegedly robbed and murdered a 54-year-old salesman in a section of Jones Avenue in Spanish Town on Friday. The police have identified the deceased as Clive Anthony Roy from Biles District in Kitson Town in the parish. Reports are that about 12:40 p.m., Roy was delivering juices and other items in the Backlands community when he was attacked. The killers reportedly took an undetermined sum of cash and then shot him repeatedly in the upper body. The police report that the attackers placed Roy inside the back of his vehicle, which was driven to another location in the community and abandoned. Farmer dies in fire at his farm in Pepper, St. Elizabeth. A man died in a fire on his farm in Pepper, St. Elizabeth on Friday. He has been identified as 50-year-old Shane Farquharson, who was also a mason. It's reported that Farquharson was clearing his land with fire when he was overtaken by smoke. His body was found by another farmer this morning. Court orders lottery scamming family trio to pay millions. The Financial Investigations Division FID secured a significant judgment in the Supreme Court on March 7, resulting in pecuniary penalty orders exceeding $5 million against 3 individuals implicated in lottery scamming. The penalties were ordered against Kiefer Barrett, a 43-year-old auto body mechanic with no legitimate source of income, his spouse Davian Wilson, 39, a waitress, and 43-year-old chef Kelson Barrett, who is Kiefer's cousin. All parties hail from Lucy, Hanover. The court ordered that Kiefer Barrett faces a pecuniary penalty of $1,695,550, with $424,030 payable immediately, and the balance to be paid in monthly installments of $26,490 across 4 years. Non-compliance will result in the seizure and the sale of his assets. Davian Wilson was ordered to pay a total of $970,000, starting with $250,000 immediately, and the remainder in monthly installments of $15,000 over 4 years. There are instructions to liquidate Wilson's possessions to settle any unpaid amounts. Kelson Barrett was directed to pay $2,560,000 with an upfront payment of $1 million, and the rest in monthly installments of $32,500, also over 4 years. Keith Darren, the Principal Director of Investigations at the FID, said the Supreme Court rulings are a testament to the judiciary's firm stance on enforcing financial legislation and its role of deterring similar offenses in future. The FID is resolute in its dedication to combating financial crimes and recovering the proceeds of illicit conduct, Darren said. The case originated from a routine traffic check by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force along Norman Manley Boulevard in Negril, Westmoreland in February 2011. Kelson Barrett and Davian Wilson were passengers in a vehicle driven by Kiefer Barrett. A conspicuously placed large leather bag overflowing with cash and visible to the officers triggered further examination. Kiefer Barrett claimed ownership of the bag, but further discussions about the source of the cash revealed various inconsistencies which arose the suspicion of the officers. Thorough investigative processing resulted in the recovery of electronic devices and notebooks containing identity information and financial details consistent with lottery scamming. Further analysis uncovered that over the 5-year span, 2007 to 2011, the Barretts and Wilson received more than $26 million from 32 United States citizens with whom they have no familiar ties. The transactions were conducted through local remittance services and credit unions. These findings culminated in the conviction of all three for engaging in transactions involving criminal property. Plum Plums family aggrieved about sentence. The 6 years and 6 months at hard labor sentence delivered on Friday to 24-year-old quality analyst Rochelle Foster was in January found guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter for the 2019 stabbing death of national senior women's footballer Taranya Plum Plum Clark, hit differently for the Reggae girl's grieving relatives who missed the handing down of the ruling despite being present on the court premises. Clark's family, in describing the sentence as unfair, said it in no way compensates for the grief they have lived with since the killing. Mrs. says that's a troublemaker. My sister's a peacemaker and we are living a grief. This year going to make 5 years my sister passed and we are living a grief. This is not justice, a sibling of Clark said on Friday, after Justice Leighton Pusey handed down the punishment in the Home Circuit Court Division of the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston. The family members, who had been present for every moment of the 8-day trial, said their heartache was magnified by the fact that they missed the sentencing. It's unfair bad. She get an unfair death and an unfair trial. We're there from before 10 o'clock. Them said the matter will be at 2 p.m. So we go have lunch and when we return after 1 p.m., we hear the sentence pass and court done, one disappointed sibling shared. Clark's mother, Charmaine Riley Clark, a woman of few words, described the situation as a letdown. That is not fair and that is not right. I feel disrespected. It's really unfair to say she stabbed my daughter 2 times and then bring it down to manslaughter. And at the end of the day, now when we come, they mislead her until we say at 2 p.m. And after we come back, them turn off the light in the courthouse, she said, referring to the fact that while her family waited outside the facility, the sentence was handed down, the courtroom vacated, and the lights turned off. It is disrespectful and unfair, Riley Clark said. At the end of the day, make it look like no family member or relative turn up for the deceased, Clark's niece chimed in. When inquiries were made about the change in time, a source revealed that the trial judge had called the matter forward because the court reporter assigned to the courtroom for that day had a personal difficulty. It is understood that the family members were not notified of the change because the prosecutor manning the matter stated for that courtroom on Friday was not the prosecutor who had led the evidence in the trial and who was familiar with the relatives. Clark, a resident star in the sporting arena, was stabbed to death during a reported dispute over a cell phone with Foster about 8:50 p.m. on October 31, 2019 at Limelight Plaza in Halfway Tree. During the trial, Foster claimed that she acted in self-defense, insisting that she would have been the one to die if the footballer, who she said was fuming over the fact that she had called it quits on their toxic 7-month sexual relationship, had got hold of the weapon used to stab her. On Friday, Justice Pusey, from a starting point of 7 years, which he said was the normal range for such offences, added 2 years to the aggravating factors of the killing, which included the fact that Foster was armed and Clark was not, and that 2 wounds were inflicted on Clark. He, however, deducted a year from the resulting 9 years for the mitigating factors, which included the fact that Foster had no previous convictions, was just 21 years old at the time of the killing, and had received a positive community report. Foster was also given a discount for the year and 6 months already spent behind bars. Attorney Courtney Rowe, who represented Foster, said his client was visibly dissatisfied with the sentence. He said that an appeal might be in the wings. I don't have any firm instructions right now, but she did express a desire of speaking with her family about going that route. We, the defense, are of the view that the judge did not properly explain to the jury when they came back requesting further guidance, Rowe said. On the day the trial went to the jury, after being instructed by the judge, they returned to the courtroom armed with the verdict. The foreman, when asked to relay the findings, said, guilty of murder without intent, at which point Justice Pusey, in seeking to elicit what was meant by that utterance, gave further instructions and again sent the jury from the courtroom. When they returned, the foreman, when asked to indicate the decision, said the unanimous finding was that Foster was guilty of manslaughter. The guidance he gave was inadequate. We believe if he had given more complete instructions, then the finding of the jury would have been different, following on the utterance the foreman made that they didn't find that Miss Foster had an intention to kill. We're saying the judge did not assist them properly at that point when they were seeking clarification, the attorney said. JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.